This morning that those of you coming off the injection, there is a new weight loss jab warning this morning that those of you coming off the injections should get NHS support for up to a year.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so it's the guidance from NICE has been updated to say that when people stop the injections, they need support, which makes sense because we're dealing with obesity, which is a chronic long-term condition that has over 100 different causes. And these drugs are highly effective at switching off hunger. But when you stop taking them, that switch immediately goes back to what it was. Yeah. So without support to change habits long-term, people regain the weight. I think one way to think about it, I've got lots of friends as well as patients who are taking these and asking my advice. What I often say to them is, if you're taking these weight loss jabs, you've got an opportunity whilst taking them to have a more favourable chance at changing your behaviours. Now, I'm somebody, and I'm guessing the same for both of you, I've never really struggled with my weight to control it, partly due to my genetics, things I've experienced in my lifetime. For me, that's never been an issue. But for other people, it's different. I always say, whilst you're taking the injections, it's as easy for you as it is for me to make those changes, longer-term changes to what you eat, your lifestyle, your activity. So people need to be making these changes whilst they're taking it. And they should be accessing that support whilst they're taking medications, but lots of people aren't. They just take the drug. It's great because they start losing weight, their hunger's gone, the food noise is gone, but when they stop, it...
Okay, that's enough of that. I'm actually going to do a long video on this, and I'm going to try and get it done on under 10 minutes. Because honestly, I have so much to say on this. And as someone who has helped a lot of people lose the weight naturally without going down these fucking injection routes, help these people with their cravings, help these people with their hunger, I'm pretty sure I know what I'm talking about. And I'm going to explain to you guys how we actually do it. But before we do that, I want you guys to watch this video first.
People like this piss me right off.
Are Oreos more addictive than cocaine?
No. Obviously not.
Why do I hate squash so much? The truth is, all of this is filled with artificial sweetener. Dessert time and ditch the Muller corners because that almost has 5 teaspoons of sugar in it. Nonsense.
Uncle Ben's.
No. This stuff is literally not even a crisp.
This one's the best one.
Here's why you need to ditch the cereals for your kids.
Now, I don't know about you, but this way of helping by demonising food and making people A, feel guilty for their choices and B, scared to make the right choice in the future only leads to one thing. Personally, instead of telling people all processed food is bad, Oreos are like class A's and buying cereal for your child makes you a bad parent, I prefer to put my common sense hat on. And here is where we focus on eating whole foods high in protein and fibre alongside fruits and vegetables 80% of the time, leaving the other 20% to enjoy foods without having to worry about the ingredients of the fat. Because ultimately, we all know foods like chocolate aren't great for us, but no one is relaxing at home on the sofa after a stressful day at work with a fucking avocado. And whilst hyper-focusing on eating healthy all of the time might be brilliant for your physical health, I am sure your mental health would absolutely bomb. So remember, there's no such thing as an unhealthy food, only an unhealthy diet.
Now I hear this a lot, that if we don't eat these foods in moderation and we cut them out, this is only going to lead to an eating disorder. Long term, it's never going to be sustainable because you guys are going to struggle and you're going to end up putting these foods back in. But here's the thing, and this is what these people are not telling you. It was never going to be sustainable long term, guys, because you're focusing on the wrong problem. Okay, all these people are focusing on is just go on a low calorie diet. That's all they're focusing on. But they're not telling you the type of food that you're eating. And this is where we have the big issue. Now, I've said this many times, that if the food is wrong, you guys are going to struggle to get in shape. Many of us can get in shape. That's the easy part. I've done this myself. I could get in shape very easy. The problem I had was I just can't stick to it. And more than likely I put the weight back on. And not one of these people told me the reason why. And then when I come along and explain to these experts that now I know the reason why I could never keep the weight off. Now I know the reason why I could never get my hunger or my craving issues under control. And this was the information I was being given. I was being given on a daily basis that I just need to eat foods in moderation. Just follow this 80-20 rule, that 80% of your food just needs to be natural food and then 20% you can eat wherever you want. Guys, I did this for a very long time. This was the problem for me. And this is where many of you are struggling. You're eating this shit in moderation. You're on these low calorie diets and you're really, really struggling. You're struggling is because your blood sugars are being elevated on a regular basis. You're getting these regular spikes and crashes throughout the day, and this is having an impact on your hunger. And this is why it's never going to be sustainable. And unless we control this, you guys are going to struggle to keep the weight off. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Someone who wants to give up alcohol and is thinking about quitting, would you guys recommend that these people have this alcohol in moderation? Let's look at another example. Someone who is addicted to taking drugs. Would you guys recommend that these people just have a little bit in moderation, or would you encourage these people to stop? You would encourage these people to stop. So why can we not do the exact same thing when it comes to our food? Because I can tell you right now, food addiction and sugar addiction is real, whether you like it or not. And it just baffles me when I put up a video daily of me just eating steak and eggs. All of a sudden these people are concerned. They're worried about my health, but they didn't give a shit. In the past, when I used to eat these foods in moderation, I would put the weight back on. And this is what we see daily. We see so many people eat shit daily and nothing's been said. But like I said, when I come along and I show people that all I'm eating is just steaks and eggs, all of a sudden, as I said, these people are concerned and they're saying to me that this is going to lead to an eating disorder. Now, I'll never understand why you guys think that eating this way is going to lead to an eating disorder. In my opinion, because I struggled with an eating disorder for a very, very long time. And the main issue for me was hunger. That was the main issue. I was constantly thinking about these foods. That's where I class as an eating disorder. I can't stress this enough, that if we're thinking about food all the time and we're just depriving ourselves, this will eventually lead to an eating disorder, guys. You need to understand that if your diet has a lot of sugar in it, and those blood sugars have been elevated on a regular basis, I promise you, you guys are going to struggle. It's only a matter of time. Trust me on that one. And you need to understand this also, that when we're told, okay, in order to control this, you just need to add in more fiber. You can, but what if you guys are walking around bloated and you're not feeling good? Well, guys, this is not a good option. Okay, you shouldn't be feeling this way to lose weight. I know a lot of people will say that we're fiber deficient, that we need to add more fiber. But like I said, if you guys are trying to lose weight and this is the information that you've been given, you just need to add in more fiber, but you know something's not right. Your energy's been affected. As I said, you have these gut issues. It's affecting your mental health. Well, guys, like I said, the information that you've been given is wrong. And we also need to understand that if you guys are on a low calorie diet, a few things are going to happen. Number one, you're going to be fucking miserable doing it. How many of you have been on low calorie diets, you've been counting your calories every single day and you just don't like doing it? You end up quitting. Then the next one, I hear this all the time. You go on a high protein diet because your PT says so. You need to add in more fiber. So you're focusing on high protein and high fiber. Again, you're miserable. You're miserable, guys, because you're on a high protein diet. You're not going to get energy from eating high protein. If you're eliminating an energy source, which is carbohydrates, and these people tell you that these are your main source of energy, but things are not working and then you take them out, well then obviously your energy is going to be affected. But what these people don't tell you is this, that when it comes to carbohydrates are a non-essential macronutrient and we can get our energy through fats also. Now the difference is this, that when we eliminate the carbohydrates, then what we're able to do is we're able to control our blood sugars. Okay, because that's what's going to happen. When we look at the main macronutrient that's going to have the biggest impact on blood sugar, it's going to be carbohydrates. So if we remove these and add in more fats, then we can control our insulin levels, guys. It's common sense. It's not rocket science. When we add in more fats, we keep our insulin levels low. When we keep our insulin levels low and then we increase our leptin levels, then you guys can control your hunger. And guess what happens when you control your hunger? You guys are able to manage your weight a lot easier. And this is why they brought out these injections, because these injections do the exact same thing. But along the way, you guys are going to get massive fucking side effects from taking these injections. Plus, you're going to lose an awful lot of muscle mass. And if we're losing muscle mass, this is going to have a direct impact on our hunger. And this is the reason why when you guys come off these injections, you put the weight back on. Guys, like I said, these injections do work, but we can do all this through food alone. The problem is this, nobody wants to believe it. We can do this through an animal-based diet. If you guys just eliminate the problem, like I said, which is the processed food, the carbohydrates, the sugars, the seed oils, all the foods that these fuckers are telling us to eat in moderation, then you guys will have no issues trying to get in shape. Like what I said at the very, very beginning, I get these questions on a regular basis. Mark, I'm struggling to lose the weight. Mark, I'm struggling to keep the weight off. I have these regular hunger issues. Happens all the time. Every time you guys do a diet, this is the main issue that always comes up. I just could not stick to it because it was never going to be sustainable. And hopefully after this conversation I've had with you people today, you will understand, and you'll be able to go back to your PT and ask them a few more questions and explain to them that has fuck all to do with discipline. It has fuck all to do with calories, guys. You need to understand that not all calories are equal. The type of food that we eat on a daily basis matters. It matters a lot. It has nothing to do with calories. It's all down to hormones. And like I said, if you're eating the wrong food, this will have an impact on your blood sugar. And if you guys have too much sugar in the blood, it's only a matter of time before you struggle. You will not be able to sustain this long term. Okay, write that down.